You just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Your patience while holding is appreciated. Our representatives are working hard to get you closer to the guys on top of the pit boxes, over the wall, and on your radio dial. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to MRN Crew Call. We are presented by Hercules Tires. I am Tony Rizzuti. The guy next to me, he celebrated Keselowski's contract extension by doing his own set of pony keg beer stands. Please welcome Kid Cruz.
Yes, I did. You know, if I were doing any interviews, any press about that, I would have been like Keselowski at Homestead. You remember when he was doing like drunken interviews after he won the championship?
It was the best.
And you remember the Miller Lite glass he has?
Yeah, it was at least this big.
I have like two of those. Seriously.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do have two
Will
of
you
those.
bring one in to show and tell next week?
I'll bring it to show and tell, yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. We love it when you join the
I wanna
conversation.
share one
Maybe
with
you
Brad.
can tweet us out a photo of your giant glass. At MRN Radio is where we are on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskMRN. Follow the real Kid Cruz.
Please.
He needs followers, and
I got Eric
respond
Penza,
to
who
everything.
joined us for a couple shows
Eric
ago.
Penza was a rock star.
Yeah, he followed me on Twitter. You can too.
Best rated show we ever had. And as always, we love the feedback. Also, you can call our hotline. It's the Fan Forum hotline, 1-844-4ASK-MRN. What a fun show we have today. And breaking news, we never get to break news on this show. But our first crew call will be over to Wood Brothers Racing. And the crew chief of the number 21, driven by Ryan Blaney, Jeremy Bullins, will be on the show. Big news coming out today. Ryan Blaney,
a while ago, yeah,
leaving the 21 in the Wood Brothers, headed over to a third car at Penske, the number 12. And Paul Menard, leaving the 27 at RCR and going into the Wood Brothers 21.
Doesn't it start earlier and earlier every year, the silly season as they call it? It seems to start earlier and earlier.
I think when Bowman went in the 88, that announcement happening just prior to Indianapolis, Keselowski getting the contract extension, I think that set the wheels in motion. So big news, so we'll talk to Jeremy what the mood is over in the shop and what that might mean for him. Also, we'll make a call to El Presidente. David Hyatt, the president and executive producer of the Motor Racing Network, will join us. Find out what it takes to run this amazing network.
Like, for real, is he going to call, like, he's fitting this show into his schedule? For real? Did you confirm that?
That's what we're being, well,
He
he's
has
at
time
lunch
for
right
that?
now. I'm a little bit nervous he won't call, but we'll have David
Cool.
Hyatt on to find out what it takes to run this network. And he'll play a little 5-on, 5-off. Today's category, vacation. And Kid, just a little bit of advice. Let the Wookiee win.
We can't rename this show for this episode Beat the President.
No.
We're going to play Beat the President coming up at the end of the
Let
show.
the Wookiee win.
All right,
hey,
maybe.
It's time to check out this week's Crew Cut. And Kid, one of my favorite things is when we can find out about some of the newcomers in country music on NASCAR USA. Who are you chatting with this week?
You know, I love when the new kids come into country and they have a lot of
Wait, the
personality.
new kids are coming into
no,
country?
the new kids on the block are not doing country.
Breaking news, the new kids on the block are in country.
No, that will be next, right? Backstreet
might
Boys
as
are
well.
doing country
It's
now with
easy.
Florida
Yeah,
Georgia
sure.
Line. No, when you have new kids, new artists who come into country and have a lot of personality, these guys are a lot of fun. Jordan Walker and Johnny McGuire, they're known as Walker McGuire, so they share a name. But guys, what else do you share?
First couple of years we shared a girlfriend and it just did not work.
She liked Johnny more than me, and I'm the jealous kind.
You know, she moved out, so we swore off that.
Have you been to any NASCAR races?
Oh yeah, I grew up in North Texas, so I used to go to Texas Motor Speedway all the time, right there on 114. We used to go. One of my best friends growing up, his granddad used to own a company that built the frames for the trucks, and so we used to go Thursday through Sunday and watch all the races. And been down in the pits, man, and saw a lot of stuff as a kid you probably shouldn't see down in the pits. But no, man, I used to have a blast, and that's the only track I've actually been to is Texas Motor Speedway.
I've been to Kansas Speedway once for a birthday party when I was like 16, but I've heard that NASCAR events are a little bit more fun when you're over 21.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back.
Yeah, a slightly different experience when you're
Yeah,
over
for
21.
Yeah, I
I'm
went
sure-
once in college, and it was nuts. I mean, it was outrageous.
There you go, guys. There you go, Tony. The guys of Walker McGuire and their single Till Tomorrow is going to be heard on NASCAR USA. We're going to talk to them more this weekend on NASCAR USA. I bet you didn't see that coming when I asked them what they share.
I'm not sure I heard that. What? They shared a girlfriend?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, it didn't last very long. You know,
This is a family show.
Sorry. Just wait until you hear what we talk about on NASCAR USA. That may be the last week that I'm on that show.
That's what I love about NASCAR USA. You never know what you're going to hear, who you're going to hear from. It's always fun to check out. So check that out on your local MRN affiliate. It's NASCAR USA. All right, we got to take a break here on MRN Crew Call. When we come back, we'll get into some of that breaking news. Jeremy Bullins, crew chief for Ryan Blaney at the Wood Brothers. He's next here on MRN Crew Call.
I'm Steve Letarte, STP auto expert and former crew chief. I know what it takes to keep engines performing at their best. STP's latest breakthrough additive, STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer, delivers 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus premium gasoline and helps keep fuel fresh during storage. For over 60 years, STP has been on the cutting edge developing products to help engines run better, longer.
One bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents compared to 20 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Summer Brake Deals event. Take advantage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Do It Right rebate and get a $25 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Are you ready?
To help children forget about their serious medical conditions so they can just be a kid. Then support Victory Junction, which is the dream of late race driver Adam Petty, who wanted to build a camp where children concentrate on fun and laughter, not illness or disability. At Victory Junction, kids enjoy ziplining, horseback riding, swimming, fishing, all in a medically safe environment, all at no cost to the camper. What do you say, Richard Petty?
Let's do this.
Learn more at victoryjunction.org.
No, this is not a pizzeria. Rizzuti is the name of our host. You dialed MRN Crew Call.
It's not a pizzeria, but I make a mean mostaccioli. Tony Rizzuti, Kid Cruz with you, MRN Crew Call.
Bring one in.
Yeah, I should do that, a little show and tell. Hey, it's time to make our first crew call of the afternoon. We're going to make it over to the number 21 Motorcraft Ford, driven by Ryan Blaney. Jeremy Bullins is the crew chief. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for the time. Let's start with the breaking news. It came out today, and I'm sure it's been in the works, but your driver, Ryan Blaney, moving over to Team Penske to drive a third car there, the number 12, and Paul Menard coming in from RCR to drive the 21. What's the mood around the shop? How do you think this might affect your team going forward?
Well, obviously, exciting stuff there for Ryan to get to go to Team Penske, and that's kind of been in the works since 2012 when he first started driving the Xfinity car when I was crew chief in the 22 discount tire car. So a lot of exciting stuff. We'll have another Ford on track with Menard in the 21, and just really excited about adding that program. And it's just a good day all around.
I hate to put you on the spot, but I need to ask the question: will you be staying with the 21? Will you be heading to the 12, or has any of that been discussed yet?
I think the plan is for me and Ryan to continue to work together. So obviously that's exciting. We've been at it for a while now and kind of building our relationship and working together as a team. So excited that that's going to get to continue and have a lot of mixed emotions about that. The Wood Brothers is the first place that I worked and when I got started in the sport, and it's the first place that I crew chiefed a Cup car at. So 2 of the biggest breaks that I've had are because of them. So obviously we'll do everything we can to keep them going and going strong, and we're really proud of what we've been able to do there the last 2.5 years, and want to finish this year strong.
Jeremy, Tony and I were just talking a little while ago about how this so-called silly season seems to start earlier and earlier every year, and it looks like we'll probably have a couple of teams, yours included, I think, in the playoffs that may have changes, driver changes, but it's more than just driver changes. There are a lot of crew guys that have an allegiance to certain drivers too, and when you start to see a lot of these changes happening so early in the season, is it even more of a distraction? How do you control that and manage that from a crew chief perspective?
Well, the thing is we've all got jobs to do. We've got to be professional and do everything that we can do to finish what we started. And the goal is to get in the playoffs, and we are. So now the goal is to get as far through the playoffs as we can get, and hopefully get all the way to Homestead. So if we can do that, we'll all be happy. And the good thing about the situation and what we're announcing is we're adding. We're not taking anything away. So fortunately, there's opportunities there for people, and nobody's in a bad spot. So it's a good thing all around for us and for the 21 team and the 12 team.
So how are you approaching this weekend? Let's move ahead. Let's talk about Pocono. I believe this is the first of the 3 weekends where you're qualifying and racing on the same day, right? That's Pocono, the Glen, and then later this year at Martinsville.
Yeah.
So how does that change your racing? I mean, how many times are you going to have to go through inspection on one day? Is it going to be just a complete cluster there trying to make it all happen?
No, I don't think it'll be too bad. I think they've done a good job with the schedule. I think the way you look at it, everybody. The biggest thing that's different is because of the schedule and the way they set everything up. Part of it is that the backup cars don't have an engine in them. And that was part of the kind of agreement amongst the owners and teams and how all that's going to work. So, if somebody has to get a backup car out, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but it's something that we've taken into account. And everybody's tried to put a plan together of who does what and all that kind of stuff. And for us, it's similar to when we had Xfinity when we were on the 22 car there at Team Penske. We did that for 3 years with that deal, and you qualify race morning. So it's not really new. It's just different. So it's just something you have to put some thought into and be prepared.
Talking with Jeremy Bullins. He's the crew chief of the number 21 Motorcraft Ford for the Wood Brothers Racing, and driver Ryan Blaney. Jeremy, the last time we were at Pocono, you guys grabbed the win. It was a very emotional win. It was an exciting win. We head back to this track. It's only been a few weeks. How much does the track change from the first time we go to Pocono to the second time, and will you be bringing the same car with the same setup?
No and no. It's a different car, and we've evolved setups a little bit since then. So, hopefully some of what we learned at Pocono we applied to Indy, and hopefully we learned some things at Indy that we can apply to Pocono this week. So a little bit out of the box from what we had at the last Pocono, but you know how fast things change, and you got to try to stay ahead of the curve. And, we felt like there were ways we could be better than when we were the first race. So you always have to try to learn and try to be better.
You're one of the most respected engineers in the garage as well, and I know you didn't work with it directly, but at Indianapolis we saw the aero ducts and the restrictor plates on the Xfinity cars. It seemed to put on a better show, allow for more passing, closer racing. Is this something you think might be able to work in a Cup car? I mean, my initial reaction is the noses are so different to be modified for the manufacturers, but what are your thoughts on some of the experiments that NASCAR's doing to try to make the racing a little closer?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge, applying that to the Cup cars, because the Xfinity cars have basically a common brake duct to start with. So it's a little bit easier to bolt apart in there and make that work. That's a challenge to try to bolt something that's similar into the Cup cars, because they're quite a bit different. I think you'll see down the road attempts at this. I think there were some positives from it. The other big difference is just the difference in power between the Cup cars and the Xfinity cars. That plays a role in how that package works. So that's a challenge. How you limit the power to make all that work. But you have to applaud NASCAR for saying, hey, let's try something. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, where it's like, all right, let's try to put on a better show for the fans, because at the end of the day, that's what we have to do. So, you got to applaud them for trying to make something happen, and that was a step in the right direction. It's just what can we learn from that, and how do we apply it?
Well, Jeremy, it's been very impressive, the team you've been able to put together over at the Wood Brothers, the success you've had so far this year. Congratulations on the good news moving over to Team Penske with the 12, and good luck this weekend in Pocono. Can't wait to hear you on MRN Radio this weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys.
There he is, Thanks. Jeremy Bullins. How about that? Coming on the show, breaking news, headed to the 12. What do you think about this move for Ryan Blaney? I mean, let's be honest here. The Wood Brothers, they're kind of a satellite team for Penske. They get their cars from there. Obviously, they get their engines from Roush Fenway. They get a lot of technical support from Penske. This has been in the works for a while, but hearing the news, what are your initial thoughts on that?
I love it. I mean, I know I should be saying more. I love it. I think it's awesome, man. I really grown to love the Penske team. Logano, I've been kind of cool on over the years.
Been your
I'm
guy.
warming off to him. It's been the Blue Deuce has always been my guy, except during the Kurt Busch years, not so much. But I do like Kurt Busch now, but I didn't back then. So I'm a huge fan of Penske and everything that they're doing. And I think it's exciting. I think it's going to also be fun to see Paul Menard in that 21. I think that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And you got to assume Menards is coming over as part of the sponsorship deal. I've had some people on social media and Twitter ask us, what's happening with the Ford sponsorship? I think you'll still see some of that Motorcraft sponsorship on the 21. That's not been announced yet,
Yeah,
but I know they want to scale back a little. They've been having to bite off quite a bit.
I think it was teased, right? 22 races in that 21 will be sponsored by Menards, and then it hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully Ford and we'll step up and sponsor.
Make a lot of sense, but big news, Jeremy Bullins will be heading with Ryan Blaney over to the number 12 at Team Penske. All right, we got to take a break here on MRN Crew Call. When we come back, the president of the Motor Racing Network, David Hyatt, he joins us here on MRN Crew Call.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Bagley. Join me every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. This one-hour interactive show takes you beyond the typical storylines in NASCAR with the stars of the sport.
The celebration's been fun. I mean, afterwards, I guess I didn't leave the track until my 1:30, so I caught it with my crew in South Beach.
NASCAR Live also gives you in-depth analysis with MRN's top personalities.
Because for me, the decisive moment of this championship was when...
Check it out. NASCAR Live this Tuesday night at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network.
You've reached MRN Crew Call. Please deposit 25 cents to be upgraded to more quality programming. Otherwise, here's Tony and Kid.
Welcome back to the old program. Tony Rizzuti, Kid Cruz. We are presented by Hercules Tires. If you're just joining us, a little bit of breaking news on the program today. Jeremy Bullins announcing that he is part of the move with Ryan Blaney over to Team Penske in the 12. The initial press conference said that'd be determined at a later date, but Jeremy moving on makes sense. Keep the whole thing together. They built quite a program there, so we'll have more for you throughout the day. Stay tuned to MRN.com for more analysis and stories on that. NASCAR Today, I'm sure, will have updates as well, so keep it locked right here for all of your NASCAR news. At this time, it's trying to make our own crew call within the building to the president and executive producer of the Motor Racing Network. He is David Hyatt. David, how are you today, sir?
You got to call me. You can't let me just walk down to the studio. You got to call me.
It gets a little tight in here.
Is he in the building? We didn't know if you were out at lunch, if you were in the building, what you were doing.
Lunch? What's that?
Lunch, yeah, exactly right. Hey, we ask everybody, David, when they come on the show, when did you get your start in the sport, and describe your ladder to become president of the Motor Racing Network?
Oh, wow. So I'm one of the old guys. So been around long enough that I can say that. I actually did my first gig with MRN as an unpaid gig as a gopher back in 1987. So that was the start. I'd kind of aspired to do some on-air work with the network, and that led that unpaid gig as a gopher led to some on-air work. And by 1990, I was working full-time with the network, a little bit of on-air work, but clearing radio stations for our vast network of affiliate radio stations across the country. And by the mid-90s, I got a mysterious call from the folks at NASCAR who said, hey, we're going to start this thing called the internet, a website called NASCAR Online. So I got the privilege to be the guy that started and launched the original NASCAR.com and operated that for a couple of years within the sport before getting a call to come back and do some things here at MRN in the late 90s. And as I honestly tell people, in a weak moment, I think they gave me the keys to the place, and I just haven't given them back yet.
Well, Mr. President, let's see how candid he'll be with us.
Wow.
You know, you're the president of a radio network. You know, you got to be constantly putting out fires. You're juggling a bunch of balls all the time, trying to keep everything running smoothly. No, he's got a lot of stuff going on, right? So the question is, Tony's laughing at me. Why are you just trying to mess me up here? So what is like one of the most fun parts of your job, and what's the most challenging? What's the hardest part of your job on a day-to-day basis?
Dealing with a variety of personalities. You know, there are always things that are is the most challenging part, because there's a lot of things that go on in people's lives that they have to balance with business, and being able to understand that and to give them a little bit of leadway, but not impact the running of the business and what we have to do for our fans and our parent company, is a little bit of the more challenging things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Obviously, I've got good staff in supervisory capacities who deal with it as well. But likewise, here's the funny part: the thing that's most fun and most rewarding is dealing with the variety of personalities and people that we get to work with. It's a crazy business. We travel a lot. We get to see a lot of places, and it's a fun business. And sometimes the business side of the business gets in the way of the fun side of the business, and that's a shame. Those are the days I don't like as much, but I really enjoy the variety of folks that we get to interact with and who we have as a part of the network, in the building and out.
Speaking of fun, isn't your once-a-year gig coming up? Are you still behind the microphone? Are you going to be calling a turn at Road America? Isn't that something you do every year?
Why, yes, I am, Kid Cruz.
Oh, look at him. He's got his radio voice now.
Yes.
No, and that's the thing. I got in this to call some play-by-play. That's what I really enjoyed doing as it related to the network, and tried to keep that up for a little while I was doing other things. And now I don't want to ever spin anybody out of a weekend of work. But when the opportunity comes up and I can invoke a little executive privilege, I like to go and call a race. And get one. A couple of years I've gotten 2 or 3, and this year it'll be one when we go to Road America. I'll plant myself out in a corner and let all the producers and directors and everybody else beat up on me and tell me what I should say and can do and can't do. And I like that part. So it keeps me fresh.
Hey, David, radio's long been one of the staples of American listening, but I know firsthand we're starting to see more of the digital and streaming starting to disrupt that medium. How do you, as president of the network, continue to grow radio, but also work in some of the newer things like digital and streaming? And what is the state of radio when it comes to live sports?
Yeah, so I think you embrace both. And I think for years we've been trying to not be radio. We've been trying to be audio. And that happened because with the advent of the internet, back when Al Gore and I created it.
Nice.
We decided that you have to be in the multimedia business if you're in the media business. So people are going to consume differently. Consumption habits are going to change. This thing called TV came about way back in the 1940s and 50s, and people thought it was the end of radio. Radio saw its greatest profitability and spikes in growth after TV came on board. Similar was true with NASCAR. The spike of NASCAR with a TV audience, growing it to high measures back in the 90s and early 2000s, saw a spike for radio as well, because people expect things to be where they can find them. So I think the big thing that we have to do, focus on our product as content, as good content that can be consumed no matter what choice of device or appliance that the listener wants to use to get it there. So far, we've had good partners to work with that have allowed that to happen. Our radio station affiliates understand that there is a place for digital distribution. They understand there is a place for satellite radio distribution, and they understand there is a place for groups to aggregate those signals together and find them regardless of what device you're using. So I think the big challenge with it is just how do we measure who's listening? And I think some of the decline that NASCAR has seen in its viewership and listenership, while certainly there's some there, I think it's not as great as many people play it up to be, because how audiences are now measured and measured differently by the different media that they're using.
Yeah, and it continues to change not only week to week, but almost day to day in that facet. All right, David, we have this fun thing we like to do here on MRN Crew Call. It's our own game show. It's called 5 on 5 Off. It's 5 ridiculous trivia questions. You probably shouldn't know the answer to them, but if you do, you don't have to necessarily get it right. You just have to be closer than this guy.
Now, I've been told that it's strongly advised I need to lose the game today.
Let the Wookiee win.
Oh, okay. But I wanted to rename the game Beat the President for this week. Good idea or bad idea?
I like it. Put it in there.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're going to put David on hold.
So wait a minute. I have a question first.
Sure.
So Kid Cruz hasn't been exposed to these questions ahead of time, has he?
No, he has not.
No,
They
I
have
tried.
been
Trust me,
sealed
I tried.
in a mayonnaise jar.
Hellman's?
Yep, possibly.
Kraft?
Possibly, if
Okay.
they want to
All right.
buck up and sponsor this thing.
All right. Well, just curious as to which brand it was.
All right, we'll put you on hold. He won't hear this. We'll take our last commercial break. We come back. El Presidente versus Kid Cruz.
Oh, my.
Somebody's walking out of here possibly without a job. Kid Cruz. That's coming up. You don't want to miss it here on Crew Call.
Going down, kid. Going down.
While the best drivers in the world fire up their engines, it's time for you and the family to fire up the grill. Creekstone Farms has the most tender and highest quality premium Black Angus beef in the country and are offering one of their juiciest deals of the year this July. Race over to creekstonefarms.com now and use promo code MRN Burgers to get a box of 6 delicious burgers free when you place an order of $100 or more. That's promo code MRN Burgers at creekstonefarms.com to get your box of burgers for free today.
If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Summer Brake Deals event. Take advantage of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Do It Right rebate and get a $25 O'Reilly gift card by mail when you buy a set of Brake Best Select pads and a pair of rotors. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Motor Racing Network has always been your source for motorsports coverage when you couldn't be at the track. Now, never miss another minute of our breathtaking coverage with the MRN app, available on your iPhone or Android device. This free app delivers all the latest news, locates nearby MRN stations, streams your favorite programs, and is your home for live cup practice and qualifying action. Search MRN in the App Store or on Google Play. It's the Motor Racing Network at your fingertips, and it's available for free right now.
Time now for Motor Racing Network's #1 game show. The game where MRN talent prove their mettle against the unshakable Kid Cruz to see if they've truly earned the right to sit atop the pit box or if they're simply a tool. It's 5 on, 5 off on MRN Crew Call.
Welcome back to the program. Getting ready for 5 on 5 off. It may be the most critical 5 on 5 off we've ever had. But before we get to the game, it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. I'm craving a burger. And fans, you should be craving one too, because if you hustle, and I mean hustle right now, over to creekstonefarms.com and use the promo code MRN Burgers, you can get a box of 6 tender premium burgers free, F-R-E-E, free, when you place an order of $100 or more, which is super easy to do. They have so many great things there. Visit creekstonefarms.com. Use promo code MRN Burgers to get your delicious free burgers today. And now I'm hungry, but it's time to play the game.
Let's do it.
We're going to put 45 seconds on the clock. We mentioned that the category today is vacation. Kid Cruz.
Yes.
Let the Wookiee win. Let's put time up on the clock, and your first question starts right now.
All right.
How much was the budget to make National Lampoon's Vacation?
$8 million.
How many minutes was that movie?
That was 87.
The Today Show ranked Asheville, North Carolina as its top vacation spot this summer. What's the population of Asheville?
Of Asheville? Oh gosh, 53,000?
One of the top attractions in Asheville is the Biltmore Estate. How many bedrooms does the massive house hold?
153.
And final question, many will vacation the Poconos. What year was the inaugural Pocono 500?
Oh my gosh, 1971.
There we go, 3 seconds to
How'd
spare.
I do?
3 for Dale. I think you did pretty good, but we'll find out because David knows a little bit of everything. He is a trivia connoisseur. He's also good with a quick joke. David, you back with us?
Wait a minute. Are you saying that I have a trivial little mind?
Just quick wit, I think, is what we're trying to say here today. The category is vacation, so it'll be things to do with a vacation. We're going to put 45 seconds on the clock. Remember, try to get as close as you can, and your time starts right now. How much was the budget to make National Lampoon's Vacation?
$5 million.
How many minutes was that movie?
110.
The Today Show ranked Asheville, North Carolina as its top vacation spot this summer. What's the population of Asheville?
72,112.
One of the top attractions in Nashville is the Biltmore Estate. How many bedrooms does the massive house have?
42.
And many will vacation in the Poconos. What year was the inaugural Pocono 500?
1974.
1974. The man may know a little bit.
I think you
just
tailored
saying.
these questions more toward him this week, but
I'm
whatever.
just saying, this is going to be interesting. Let's bring in producer Daryl Smith. Daryl, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
We've had a great show. We've broke news. We might be firing somebody today. This is exciting. Let's bring in the first question. It was, how much was the budget to make National Lampoon's Vacation, one of my all-time favorite movies? What did kids say?
$8 million.
And what did David say?
$5 million.
The correct answer?
$15 million.
$15 million. That's surprising.
Boom.
Moose out front should have told you. Just saying. How many minutes was the movie? Kids said.
87 minutes.
And David said.
110 minutes.
Ooh, we got to do some math here. The correct answer.
98.
I'm going to let you do the math. Who was closer there?
I think it's a tie.
It's a tie. We might be going to a tiebreaker question. That's always interesting.
98, I got that.
Did you get it?
What did I say, 87?
87.
Yeah, 11, and he's 12 off. I'm 11 off.
There
he's
you
12
go.
off.
Math
See,
wasn't
I'm not hearing what kids' answers were here, so I'm in the dark a little bit, but I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on. I want to see what the final is.
All right. The Today Show ranked Nashville as its top vacation spot this summer. I don't know what that means for the rest of the United States. Quaint little town, but top spot, I'm not so sure. Population is, kids said.
53,000.
53,000. And David said.
720,112.
Yeah, that's way too many. The correct answer is
89,000.
89,000. Kid gets the point once again.
What did he? Didn't he say 72,000?
Did he say 72? Was he closer?
72,112.
That's what I said. Yes.
Yeah, I was 53,000.
Oh, I thought you said 720,000.
There you go. Come on, Daryl. All right, David gets the
Now
point.
I'm producing.
No, serious, boss. This usually works out about this way too. Many people will vacation the Biltmore house. How many bedrooms does it have? Kids said.
153.
153. David said.
42.
42. The correct answer.
35.
35. David Hyatt gets the point.
We're all
I think we
tied
have
up.
an even game here going
We're all
into the
tied
final
up.
question. This question right here could determine your fate.
Well, considering he's been around the network for a long time, he probably has this right on. So I propose whoever loses, whoever wins has to buy the losers some like smoked wings at Sticky Fingers or something.
Ooh.
So I'm going to lose, and he has to buy me lunch.
I like that option better than losing my gig.
Do you want to buy any insurance on the fact that he got it right on the money?
I may be buying wings for him.
All right, many will vacation in the Poconos. What year was the inaugural Pocono 400? Kid Cruz said.
1971.
David Hyatt El Presidente said.
1974.
The correct answer.
1974.
1974, right on the money, and with the win at the buzzer. Checkered flag goes to David Hyatt. David, congratulations on the win. Who do you want to thank today?
Hey, I want to thank Kid for missing and flubbing that last answer. So
there you go.
I want to thank you for allowing this show to actually be on the network.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time he's really experienced it. It may not be on next week. We may have a repeat of Chips followed by Cops. Just
wait a
saying.
minute. This isn't a rehearsal? What are we doing
Yeah,
here?
right. This is a pilot. It'll never see the air again. Hey, David, thanks so much for the time. Hey, what did you think about the breaking news? Blaney to Penske, Menard to Wood Brothers.
I think that it was certainly interesting. The latter part of that, we'd heard rumors certainly about the former. I think what you guys broke a few minutes ago was maybe a little more interesting and unexpected than I thought. But I think it'll be interesting to see where everything shakes out in terms of who gets charters for what teams and where they come from, and as a result, how that shakes out down through the rest of the Cup field for this year, or for next year rather. And but I think it's cool. I think that Blaney, as much as I hate to see him go out of the 21, I think he's the real deal, and he's going to be in good equipment, and I think he's going to be a force. Penske's got quite a lineup over there right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, thanks for the time as always, my friend, and we'll talk to you next time maybe.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Notice how I threw in maybe. So big news. Jeremy Bullins headed with Ryan Blaney over to Penske. By the way, I was giggling at one point in time during the show. Back-to-back weeks, you asked a man if his nuts were tight, and then today you asked a man if he was juggling balls. So I'm just saying, I have a kid kind of sense of humor. I found that.
Just wait till next week.
You think there'll be a next week?
We'll find out.
You'll have to tune in next time here on MRN Crew Call. See ya.
You've been listening to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Wednesday at noon on MRN.com or on the MRN app. MRN Crew Call is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, or download it through iTunes or Google Play. MRN Crew Call is a production of the Motor Racing Network. Goodbye.